Hi guys, this is Yamarie from Namaste N Slay. The other day I did a unconditionally loving yourself video, and as a follow-up I did a self-love tarot spread where I kind of dived a little bit deeper to help provide you guys with some divine guidance on how to shift past that energy. In hindsight, what I realized was that although there was a lot of messages about what was going on in your situations, there wasn't really a lot of like actionable advice and guidance. So what I wanted to do today is create another tarot spread that is specifically focused on freeing your mind, what you can do to free your mind. A lot of the energy that came up in that reading was that there was a lot of confusion, a lot of feeling stuck, a lot of feeling unable to move forward. And part of what we do here at Namaste N Slay is we combine self-love and mindset with this aspect of spirituality, which is where the tarot readings come in. So with that said, I'm going to jump right into the reading. Let's get started. Okay, this is going to be a 5-question reading. It's about how to free your mind. So this is all about what's blocking you, what self-doubts are blocking you from shifting forward, moving forward in your life, and how to move past that. And yes, guys, I know my shuffling is horrendous, but you know what? The messages still get through. Okay. So the first question is going to be, what are the doubts preventing you from putting yourself out there? So again, this is a general reading. I'm going to try to pick up on the energy of the collective here. So if something doesn't resonate, just let it go. If something doesn't feel right, the message is not for you. Angels, help me pick up on the energy of the collective. What are the doubts and fears preventing the collective from putting themselves out there, from moving forward? What are the doubts and energies that are preventing the collective from putting themselves out there, moving forward? Okay, this is a lot of cards, but I'll take them. I usually don't like taking so what I'm going to do here, since I don't have a lot of space, is put them in front of the camera like this so you can see them. Maybe I can shift this back a little more. No, that's as much space as I have. And then I will kind of move them over because for each of the questions. So I usually don't like taking a handful of cards like that when they fall together because sometimes it's just an accident. But if I didn't mention this already, I've mentioned it in another video. If you see my other videos, you've heard me mention in my other videos, I'm an intuitive reader. I use my intuition. So in this case, I feel called to take them all. So again, to recap, the question was, what are the doubts and fears preventing you from moving forward, from putting yourself out there? What I'm picking up is that there's a lot of financial concerns that are holding you back. And interestingly enough, since it was a self-love reading, that makes sense. I'm also picking up that it's not only financial concerns that are holding you back, it's feelings of not being good enough, not having enough to offer. And I'm picking that up from the Ace of Cups energy over here. The financial concerns I'm picking up from the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups is what's making me feel like a lot of this also has to do with just not feeling like you have anything to offer the world. I don't know if a lot of you watching this are trying to pursue some new career or business opportunity. That's what it feels like right now. We'll see. We'll see if love has something to do with this. We'll see if it's if there's a combination. But what I'm picking up right now is you're at a standstill because you don't feel financially ready. There's doubts and fears around being financially ready, being stable enough as well, not just financial stability, but just being stable. It could be emotional stability, to move forward. With the Eight of Wands energy here, movement forward, to move forward. But I'm also picking up, so this is how you feel, but there is progression, there is movement happening behind the scenes, even if you don't feel it, even if you don't recognize it. There are things that are working in your favor. You may be so focused on whatever this financial burden, whatever material burdens are going on in your life right now, whatever external things are happening in your environment, that you can't see that there's movement happening forward. Eight of Wands. Sorry, I just want to make sure you got a clear view of the card. But there is movement happening. There is movement happening. And sorry, I'm just going to sit Indian style because I can't sit like that anymore. There is movement happening. There is movement happening, and there is happiness, an abundance of happiness coming your way. There is a new beginning coming your way that's going to bring you a lot of financial, maybe financial, maybe that wasn't a slip, financial and emotional fulfillment. Okay, so the next question for the Free Your Mind, breaking away from your subconscious block spread is, what are my most deep-seated fears? What are my most, so again, this reading is for the collective, so what are the deep-seated fears of the collective energy? Okay. You're fearing some kind of ending, perhaps? Okay. You know, this one came out first, but this feels like it's supposed to be like this. Let's see what the next card is, and I will confirm. I'm trying to shuffle quietly, and it's just not working for me. All right, let me move these cards over so that you can see what I have here. So, what are your deepest fears? What I'm picking up here is a lot of you have been going through a lot of conflict. And it's like, so there is some heavy conflict here, but there's also a lot of petty. Like, see how these folks here, like, they're hitting each other with these wands, these sticks. They're not really trying to hurt each other. What I mean by that is, like, they're not using swords to battle. It's kind of that rough play energy. But in this case, what I mean by rough play is, like, people who are just petty and catty and, like, want to fight over everything. So your fear is conflict. Your fear is, so, okay, here's what I'm picking up. You're fearing that the change that you're trying to create in your life isn't going to work. You're also fearing that you're going to come out of one toxic situation to move into another, with the devil energy here. Like, you guys you know what you have to do. I don't want to say kind of, because you know, and you're just not listening to yourselves. So you guys know what you have to do to move past whatever is blocking you and preventing you from putting yourself out there, career-wise, relationships, whatever it is, because this is a general reading. But it's like, you're afraid that, so I'm picking up two things. You're either afraid that things just aren't going to work out for you no matter what you do. Like, I'm damned if I do, am damned if I don't. If I walk away, is anything really going to change? And then also, if I walk away from this devil energy, which is toxic energy, if I walk away from this toxic situation, toxic people, toxic workplace, is the next. I'm sorry I keep pausing. It's just, I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to listen to my intuition. I feel like I'm getting a lot of stuff thrown at me. So in some cases, this is a romantic situation that you want to take a leap of faith on, and you're afraid that, but there's things that you have to eliminate in your past in order to have that. And you're afraid that even if you move on from this toxic energy, because maybe you were toxic with this person, it's almost like you're afraid of your karma. There we go. So whether it's romantic or career, you're afraid of your own karma. Like, you're like, well, I've done a lot of fucked up shit myself. Even if I break free from whatever this is that isn't working, is justice going to be done on me? Like, am I going to get my payback? Is there going to be more conflict because I did some fucked up shit? And then there's the other side of it, which is that you're afraid of. So that's if you've been shady business practices, shady romantic partnerships, that kind of thing, right? Now, if that's not resonating with you, the other thing I'm picking up here is you're afraid that no matter what you do, you're afraid that even if you walk away from the situation, you're still going to have to deal with some conflict. And you don't want to deal with that. Like, you're tired. You're tired of the conflict. I also just heard you're tired of the indecision, but I don't know what that means. So if that resonates with you, take it. If not, leave it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. We're going to move these to the side. The next question is, what is at the core of my disbelief? Sorry. I actually wrote down these questions for myself because I wanted to be clear on what I was asking. So yeah, what is at the core of the collective's disbeliefs? What is at the core of the collective's disbeliefs? And I'm going to put these cards back on screen as best as possible after. I might have to pause the camera and put them on the floor or something so I have more space, but I want to get an overall sense of what's going on here. Okay, we're going to take them. What is at the core of... It's easier for me to shuffle against my knee, guys. I'm not trying to be shady. What is at the core of the collective's disbeliefs? What is at the core of the collective's disbeliefs? Oh, okay. Yeah, so kind of following suit with what I was saying before about like your deep-seated fears. Here's what I'm getting is at the core of your disbeliefs. Again, probably not going to resonate with all of you, but childhood is coming up for me here, childhood stuff. So I'm sorry you can't see all my cards, guys, but the one off screen is the Chariot and reversed. Again, I read intuitively, so whether it's reversed or not, like, I will share whatever messages I'm guided to share with you. So at the core of your disbeliefs, many of you suffered an imbalance during childhood. Here's what I mean by that, because that's weird language. You guys have, although the Sun card is like really happy, right? Like happy childhood stuff. And Temperance is also a good card. It's about balance. It's about balancing emotions, practicing that balance. But what I'm getting, since it's showing up as at the core of your disbeliefs, is you guys suffered a lot of imbalance in your childhood. Like maybe you had to grow up too fast. Maybe you overextended yourself to the people that you loved. You always had to prove your love to your parents and those of you around you. Like, if I pause again, it's just me trying to make sure that I'm clear on the messages I'm getting. So there was just an imbalance. There was a lot of imbalance in the home. And that's going to mean different things for different people, but there was a lot of imbalance. And I'm also getting like this roller coaster kind of feeling. Like it was a constant roller coaster. Like there were highs and there were lows. And that energy is influencing you in your current reality. So what I mean by that is, think of your brain as a computer, right? We're programmed by the experiences and things that we're taught growing up. And so if what you're seeing in the home day in and day out is an imbalance in the way that your family comes together, works with each other, this we love hard and we fight really hard attitude and energy constantly going on, you're going to subconsciously, even if you want to break free from that, you're going to subconsciously feel or believe that that's life, that's love. That's life and that's love. That's how things are. Like you have highs, you have lows. And that belief itself prevents you from finding balance in your career and in your romantic situations. Now, also at the core of your disbelief is this fear that people are going to take advantage of you because of what you've experienced in your past, because of the imbalance you've experienced in your life. And there's also a fear of losing control. Maybe some of you, to cope with this imbalance and that you've experienced in your life, to cope with these highs and lows, and I get it because I've done this myself, is what you learn to do, because we're all wired to survive, right? And the way people are going to approach that is differently. But some people just like, there's fighters and there's flighters, right? That's even a word. But you know what I mean? Like some people go into fight, some people go into flight. And I think a lot of you watching this are fighters, in the sense, I'm not even saying that you're necessarily a combative person. You could be. But what I'm saying is, it's like, and in a way, it's very good because it's helped you get to where you are. You've approached life from this attitude of, I'm gonna focus on what's working and kind of just like push aside whatever's not. Like the way that I'm going to control this situation, the way that I'm going to control these feelings and this energy is, I'm just going to focus on what I can control and let go of what I can't. And the core of your disbelief, where you don't feel in control of your finances. That came up earlier in the reading. I actually think it came up, did it come up as the Queen of Pentacles? Yeah, that was the first one. So with the Queen and the King showing up in this reading, guys, to me, usually when I see two suits of the same kind, especially in a romantic reading, I look at it as like soulmate situation. In this reading, because we're talking about freeing your mind, this is, to me, this is, and we got the Temperance card here, got a few things to me that are telling me, got a few major arcanas here, the Sun. You're supposed to be going through what you're going through right now to shed these old beliefs, to free your mind. That's what this spread is about. Like, at the core of your disbeliefs is that you're not really in control of your financial destiny. And that scares you. Sorry, guys. That scares you. And that you're not going to be able to take control of your financial. Yeah. That you're not really going to be able to find the happiness that you seek, that you're not going to be able to find the balance, that you're not going to really be able to take control of your financial destiny, and therefore you're not going to be able to move forward and have the things that you want to have in your life. That is at the core of your disbelief. And again, to me, what I picked up is a lot of it is because of what you experienced in your childhood. Some of you guys may have experienced really happy childhoods as well, and then realized it was all a lie. That's the message that just came to me. I know that sounds weird, but what I mean by that is like, maybe you experienced really happy childhoods, like your parents, in an effort to, because they loved you, in an effort to shield you from all the conflict going on. Like, you never really saw them fight. You never really saw what was happening. Like, it was just really happy. It felt like a balanced childhood. And then like you grew up and you realized that they hated each other all along and they were just waiting for you to grow up so that and get out of the house so they could move on. That was pretty specific, but it's impacted you. It's impacted the way that you look at life. It's made you feel like life is all a lie. That was a pretty specific message, probably for like one person. So let me know if that resonates. And I'm gonna I just realized I should have, I should have separated these into piles if I did want to look at these again. Okay. And next and last question, because I have an event today that I'm working, I'm going to do some self-love, mindset shifting tarot readings for a holiday event. I need to leave soon. So this is going to be the last question. I'll take this. I think the angels don't know what I want to ask anyway, so because I was looking at it. What next steps? I'm going to stop trying to shuffle quietly in front of this camera. Sorry, guys. Here, maybe you can see my hands here. I just don't want you to think I'm being scared. So, what next step action should the collective take in order to overcome these fears and doubts? What next steps should the collective take? Okay. Let's see what this is now. So the first message was let down your guard, guys. I don't feel like anything else wants to come out, but let's see. Just kidding. Okay, and these two fell over here. And they fell inward. Okay, so here's what I'm getting. Persevere. What next steps you need to take? Persevere. Easier said than done. I know you're probably hating that message right now, but okay, so with the tower here, again, remember earlier I said you're supposed to be going through this? Guess what? You're supposed to be going through this. This is like divine intervention. This is shakeups that are supposed to happen in your life. What next steps you need to take is persevere. You're going through a really challenging time, and I'm sorry, there was a lot of like fear and anxiety, indecision in this reading, and indecision is coming up again, the Seven of Cups here. So stop trying to juggle so many things in your life and stop focusing on the cups that are spilled, meaning stop focusing on the things that aren't working and realize the opportunities that are behind you. And when I say behind you, I actually mean in front of you. Like there's opportunities available to you. That Ace of Cups that came up earlier, there's opportunity for happiness and fulfillment, but you're so blinded by your struggle right now. And I understand because it's really hard when we're going through really difficult situations in our lives, it's really hard to see what good could possibly come of this, right? But go within. If you guys are into spirituality and stuff, which I'm assuming you might be since you're watching this, go within, take time to meditate, and ask yourself, ask your higher self, what lesson am I not seeing here? What am I supposed to learn from this? Maybe the lesson itself is to persevere, is to not let life. Remember, I mentioned some energy earlier. I think it was in the second pile when I asked about what are my most deep seated fears. Like, it was like, well, shit isn't going to work anyways. And it was kind of like the self defeated attitude of like, so I'm going to just fucking give up and I'm going to control what I can and I'm not even going to bother with what I can't. Maybe the lesson itself is to let go of that. To like, no, you can't just ignore this. You got to learn to persevere. Like, you actually got to learn to like confront it. You got to learn to confront it. And maybe for some of you, it's also to, I'm going to say this, I mean it in the most loving way possible, like grow a backbone. That was just tough love, guys, because I get it. I've gone through some really tough crap in my life the past 2 years. And Lord, has it taught me to grow a backbone, set boundaries, be more firm in my decisions, but in a compassionate and loving way, guys. So, yeah, it's what next steps you need to do. You need to persevere. You need to learn to persevere. You need to learn to push back past whatever conflict this is, not suppress your emotions, actually face them, look at them, try to understand where they're really coming from. Guys, know that in life, anything we're feeling is a result of a thought and a belief. And so look at what are these thoughts and beliefs that are causing me to feel this depressed. I'm getting this depressed energy, like you're feeling depressed. And see how the 7 and 7 here again, this is very spiritual. What next steps? Learning to embrace spirituality, learning to trust that things are happening for a reason, and letting go of the indecision, letting go of the juggling. And with the Tower in reverse, realizing that this is just a mini Tower moment. It's just a phase in your, like, it may seem really big and overwhelming right now. And I'm sure a lot of you are going through a lot of big, overwhelming things because you're like really depressed. And I don't know if depressed is the right word, but that's what I'm being guided to say. You're really down. There's a lot of emotions flowing through you. Some of which you're just like trying to, again, suppress and put behind you. And the reason why I'm saying that is my eyes are guided to this flowing river in the back. It's like I'm trying to put these emotions behind me. So learning to persevere learning to trust that everything is happening for a reason. Stop putting the weight of the world on yourself. Stop trying to juggle everything. Like, I'm also getting this feeling of like, you're not only juggling your emotions, you're also trying to juggle other people's emotions, and they're not your responsibility. I'm not saying the people are not your responsibility. Maybe some of you are parents and stuff like that. And yes, your children are your responsibility if that's the case. I'm saying other people's emotions are not your responsibility. You are not responsible for how people feel. You are only responsible for your own actions and how. Here's what I mean by that. Like, even in the extreme situations where you may say something really fucked up or do something really fucked up to hurt someone's feelings, it's still up to them to take responsibility for their feelings and how they want to cope with that. So one example that, like, I'm a Jack Canfield trainer, success principles trainer as well, guys. So I am trained and certified on Jack Canfield success principles. Not going to go into what that means. You can look it up. One of the things he used to say all the time, one of the core things is E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. And it's all about taking responsibility for the way that you respond. You can't control the event, but you can help influence the outcome by the way that you respond. And so what I'm saying here, what I mean by that is, like, even if the event is, I told this person that they're really ugly. This is really mean, guys. I hope you didn't. If that person, it's up to that person whether they want to accept that as their truth or not. So you can say I'm really ugly, and my reaction, if I'm confident and clear on who I am and what beauty means to me, is like, all right, that's your opinion, not mine. Next, and and that in itself, just, it can change it from like an outcome of us being in conflict and fighting to an outcome of just like moving on peacefully. So where the hell was my brain going with that? I don't know, guys. I'm going to keep it moving. Maybe that's just what you needed to hear. Oh, with the tower. Got it, guys. So learning to accept that this is just an event in your life that you have no control over right now, okay? There were a lot of you that that came up in the second pile as well. Remember the control energy? So releasing control, but in a healthier way. So rather than in an avoidance way, releasing control and acknowledging that, like, you know what? I don't have to do it all. I'm not responsible for other people's emotions. I am only responsible for my own. And that in itself will bring you healing, because right now you're feeling like the wounded warrior. You're feeling like you've just come out of a battle and you need some time to heal, and you do. So the next step is to take that time to heal. Acknowledge all those things and take that time to heal. So again, guys, I got to head out to this event that I'm working today, but I hope that helps you guys. I feel like there were a lot more pieces of advice in this reading than there were in the last one. Let me know if you agree, disagree, what you want me to do better outside of finding a better space and lighting for these readings. And until next time, namaste.